right, Red Kayak Guy and Sidekick Joe. We're out here at Jones Bridge today. A little Saturday float, and the water's about 2 feet higher. They had a huge release last night, some storms as well. And you may recognize this is the lower part of the very first island where we put in off of Barnwell over there. And usually this is just a big sandbar, and you know, all the way down there. So we think it's about 1.5 to 2 feet higher today, but it is clean. It'll be a good float. I don't know about the fishing. We shall find out. But yeah, look at this. Let's see what it looks like on down. We're on the back end of the release, so we ought to be okay. Oh, you had one on? Well, that's a good sign. Nailed it. Oh, you had another one on. Hey. Oh, I had one, either the bottom or I had one too. Maybe they're in here. Maybe they're hungry. So I had one. It could have been the bottom, but I don't think this thing's dragging the bottom. That's interesting. Yeah, so here it comes. It came back all caught up, and the one that came back not caught up, I had a fish on there. It's like 50-50 if it gets caught up or not. Yeah, it's pretty murky. High, and what was the turbidity level? The turbidity level was a 10. So we're facing those challenges as well as up about 2 feet. But it's kind of fun when it's like this because you don't have to really row very much. This is like literally a kayak float. Look how beautiful it is. You see the fog? The fog is gently rising off the river. And then upriver you can see it just settling above the water. It's amazing. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Saturday it is. It's about 11:30. Mrs. I should say, Charlie's Heron. All right, we took the crank off of the swivel. Should make things a little bit more commitment, Joe. And I'm feeling that commitment today is the way to go. A little bit more loyal, you can't be interchanging back and forth without a swivel. So we're going on a little bit of a commitment on our Rapala Countdown 5 Gold. He's been a champion in the past, gold standard for sure. And despite the difficult conditions of turbidity level and water level, I believe in this gold standard. We shall see. It's always fun to cast right in front of your fishing buddy and then hopefully pull one out. That's the best. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with all this orange fencing. It's like they collectively, these 4 houses have all decided to redo the riverbank area. Look at all that dirt. That reminds me of ball ground. Ball ground, that's where there's a lot of dirt in ball ground. Well, Mr. Sidekick Joe, it might be a day to explore some of these side channels. Was that underwater?
No. It was like, from the picture, it looks like it was stuck in the beaver dam.
Well, clearly it just got lifted off somebody's backyard. Yeah. I hope they find the owner. Look at all this. I mean, it's like they brought in just tons of truckloads of a ton. Or, yeah, I mean, it looks like they brought that in. It's all that like pine bark dirt. I mean, that's more than 3 or 4 houses. It's like, that's 10 or 12 houses along the river here that have done something. There's something going on over there. Maybe it's a very overactive beaver. Oh, no. Sidekick just launched it right into a tree. Uh-oh. This is emergency action. All right, we got to go watch this. Let's go see how Sidekick Joe retrieves his highly valuable Fire Tiger Countdown 5 for Polly. I mean, it is. And he just launched it right onto a tree branch. Oh, it's low enough. He'll be able to get that. A fisherman's worst nightmare. Like a random rogue limb hanging down over the river. You can't see it. And you make that infamous cast into this special trout spot right underneath the shadows of that beautiful tree. And suddenly, the rogue limb reaches out and just snatches your beloved lure. But then the predator, Sidekick Joe, comes in and just rips the arm off that rogue limb with his muscles. And who says that fishing isn't a sport? Because it is a sport. You have to be an athlete to retrieve your lure out of a tree. You have to rip that branch off that tree. That tree's had that branch for 100 years, and you just rip it right off with those muscles. And there it is, right there. That's why you're an athlete. Saved his beloved lure. Nicely done. There comes a beautiful osprey flying right at us. That's Ozzy. Hey, Ozzy, what's up, buddy? All right. Ozzy the osprey. He's also a very good athlete. So this is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see, but straight out there, just below these rapids, there's a cormorant on a stump. And this is how and he's got his wings spread out like Batman. And that's how they dry off. He's just sitting there. They're very shy. He'll usually fly away before I get there. He'll definitely fly away before I get there. But that's a perfect example right there. That's it. They sit there and they spread their wings and they sunbathe. How cool is that? On the one stump in the middle of the river. There he goes. They're very skittish. Very, very, very skittish. Boy, I tell you what, this water is up about 2 feet from what I can tell, because usually that's pretty big shoals right here. Usually we're cruising right on the left side there, but when it's high like this, like Joe's gonna go over there to a river left side. Look at him digging. Look at that. And who says it's not a sport? Look at him digging. He's gonna get over there, have a nice little ride down. It's very weird to be out here when it's this high when we do it, but in this time of year, it's not usually the case. So this is a combination of a bunch of rain last night, and they had a super big release from Lake Lanier Beaufort Dam. And we're at the tail end of this release, but still, I mean, it's apparently dropped about 2 feet already too, so you can see how big that release was. But you know what? It's always fun on this river, because no matter what the water level, really no matter what the conditions, at any time it's fun, it's always different. We have a beautiful day. Temps are mild, not too humid. It's going to hit about 90. It's probably in the upper 80s right now. And when it's high like this, it's easier float, obviously. Fishing's not as good, obviously. But we might be able to explore some different side channels, maybe tributaries. This is one of my favorite houses on the river, and it's an older one, older model, maybe 70s. It was probably the first one out here, but look at that piece of property, huh? I mean, and usually this is low. This is a major shoals right here, incredible fishing area right where we. Exactly 1 mile below the Jones Bridge shoals. And again, we put in today at the Barnwell Park, or Jones Bridge Park West, off of Barnwell Road. That's 328.5. Yeah, this is really wild. I mean, it's up about 2 feet. That's the best I can tell. And it's dropped about 2 feet, so that was a huge release. Hey Joe, it just occurred to me, you know what I think is going on here? The part of land that's in between all the orange fencing, that's part of the river land. And because it's all the way, I mean, we've seen it for half a mile, right? It's pipes. They're laying pipes. And that's where all that dirt we saw piled up, that was dug out of the ground and just pushed off to the side, and they're laying piping in here. Right? That's the only thing that could possibly be going on. You can see where they've dug it out. Oh, look, it goes all the way. Yeah, for sure. They're either replacing or maintaining or something to do with pipes along there. This report brought to you by Red Kayak Guy. That's just my guess, of course, but it makes perfectly good sense. Yeah, because it keeps going and going. So that's the part of the land that the river house owners don't own, right along the riverbank. Yeah, usually Joe and I have caught, 5 or 6 fish at this point when it's low and normal. But, though, I mean, it's kind of a break, actually. When it's this high, you don't have to paddle. You're floating. It's not that hot. It's beautiful. So, Joe, why don't you just shut the F up and sit back and enjoy the ride? Yeah, let's look down the river, see what kind of views down there. Wow, look at that. It's a river. Hey, there's a stump right here. That's the thing. When it's this high, we're not prepared for the dangers. You got to really watch when it's this high. It's not like, it's when things are usually very obvious to you and you're used to them, and then all of a sudden there's a stump about an inch under the water. Mile marker 327 on your river right over there. A day like this, you're not focused on fishing, makes you think about the other beautiful things on this river. And one of those are the large variety of trees. There's some beautiful trees along this river. The river oak, one of my favorites, the largest, definitely one of the biggest on the riverbanks. You got your river pines, which are very tall and narrow. And my personal favorite, the birch, which you see it's recognizable by its white bark after it sheds its first layer. There's a birch hanging out over the river up there. They're absolutely gorgeous. White, you can see the white bark. The more mature birch are all very shiny white. And those are just gorgeous trees. And another favorite of mine is the mimosa, which I'll point out whenever I see one. They're not as frequent, but they're here and they're gorgeous. Very fine leaves, almost look fluffy, but they're beautiful. So we're looking for some mimosas. I wouldn't mind having a mimosa right about now. Boy, the colors are beautiful today. Very vibrant. Here, middle of August. And again, I mentioned earlier, it's very mild today. Nice gentle breeze. I mean, it's gorgeous out here. You know, when you have the big current and the bigger water, it tends to create more of a cool zone. Anytime you see that fog, that means that's the cold temperature rising out of this 60-degree water. So in the first couple of feet above the water, you're in a cool zone. So it may be 85 degrees outside, but it's more like upper 70s here in my kayak. Don't you wish you were in my kayak right now? Kayak hiking in a kayak, yeah. Oh, look at these shoals. Usually there's rocks right there. And usually this is a great fishing spot right here. Well, it might be now. Let's see. Yeah, when it's about, 2 feet lower, those are some big shoals right there, and this is a huge fishing pool right here. It's a very good hunting spot. I mean, there's still a nice size eddy. It's just, again, too high. The lure I'm using is a countdown 5, but it doesn't get low enough, I think, where the fish are right now. Countdown 5 means when you throw it out, you literally count down. It drops a foot per second. So it's going to get down to, 4 or 5 feet. There's a nice junior pine right in front of us, hanging out over the river. Beautiful. Hey Joe, point out the next mimosa tree you see. I want to show our viewers the beautiful mimosa. Oh, I think I see one over there. So you're right, in between those two down trees. Isn't that a mimosa right there? Yeah, there's one right there. Yeah, there we go. And you should see when these things bloom, they're unbelievable. Make sure I don't run into a rock. Whoa, whirlpool. Oh my goodness, what a whirlpool. But yeah, that's a, huh? Oh yeah, look at the ladder in the tree. Look at that. Wow, that shows you where the water was last night. Took somebody's ladder right off the riverbank. That's crazy. Wow, these currents are doing some funny things right in here. So you got to watch out for these big trees. If you're not paying attention, we call them sweepers or strainers, whatever you want to call it, but they rip you right out of your kayak if you go under them. So you don't want to, if you're not paying attention. Fortunately, this river's wide enough, you don't have to worry about it, but in the narrow sections, or if you're just fishing and not paying attention, you get caught by one of these sweepers. And that's the second most frequent way to get knocked out of your kayak. The most frequent would be obviously hitting a stump just under the water. And if you're horizontal sideways and you hit that, it'll just throw you right out of the kayak. That's the number one way to get thrown out. So I always tell people, if you're not familiar with the river you're on, if the current's moving strong, do your best to stay vertical like this. That way you're going to miss any stump, and even if you hit it, you're just going to kind of bounce to the left or the right off of it. You're not going to get side. If you're sideways and you hit it, the water will just take you on over and out, and you're going to go swimming. I'll be very interested to see if Joe might catch a fish today. We both felt like we were getting some hits early on, but it's just so hard to say when it's this high. That's the biggest challenge today, is it's super high. And the fish tend to sit along the bottom, the trout. So this is pretty wild. Here's a sweeper, and this will illustrate perfectly the water level. As you can tell, you got the one remaining branch right there, and that's where the water got up to recently. And you can see the you know, all the moss and everything, but it took all the leaves off everywhere else. But you can see that one branch. So just imagine this river, as far as I can tell, right here is about 2 feet higher, and then I guess that's another 5 feet right there. So just imagine that. And another tree that you find, I guess it's more of a weed, but technically a tree, is the bamboo. We got a lot of bamboo along this river, but this is one of the biggest bamboo forests you'll find anywhere along the river. This is a huge, huge bamboo forest. Everything you see from right to left, 95% bamboo and thick, and goes way back. Look at that. You know, bamboo grows about a foot and a half a day, per day. Absolutely amazing. Very invasive, very invasive. If you have it in your yard, you know what I'm talking about. It's difficult to get rid of those guys. Very thick. Probably a half mile to a mile north of Holcomb Bridge on Barnwell. And this is mile marker 326.5, exactly 2 miles below the Jones Bridge Park we put in today, west. See, the bamboo is still down here along the bank. That's solid 500, 600 yards of just bamboo, lots of bamboo. We're gonna go check out this creek. This creek actually goes all the way to Barnwell and you can go under the bridge, and there's a golf course over there. And I've been here when it's way higher than this, and you get through this all the way to Barnwell. We shall see what it offers today. Is the pipe I bet it's like perfectly on the pipe, right? Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it blocks this. So if you can imagine, so I've been here, you know what's crazy? This feels like it's high, right? And I've been, yeah, we've been here when the water is a foot over that pipe right there, just to illustrate how high this gets. Hey, you know, I wonder if there's any bass in this creek. It's pretty muddy. Yeah, it's freaking muddy. Are you over your fishing tantrum? No? Nope. Oh, there's a branch up there. Oh, what a nice day. Here's another of my favorite homes along the river. It's beautiful, great property. Setback ways, just beautiful property. mile marker 326. So we're 2.5 miles now downriver from Jones Bridge Park. About a half a mile before we hit Holcomb Bridge. And along the right here, the rest of the way is a driving range where you usually hear people smacking their golf balls, and occasionally they land out here while we're floating, which is pretty funny. I don't hear any golfers today. This is a pretty funny story right here. These people built this extravagant, beautiful stone walkway, and the river it doesn't discriminate. It just tears everything down. And it ripped away their stones, and they finally just said, you know what? We're going with the traditional ladder. Screw it. Well, I think it's time for a cold beverage. And there's mile marker 325.5, exactly 3 miles below the Jones Bridge Park. And you have the illustrious Holcomb Bridge Road Bridge. And just past that, and some shoals we're going to go through, and you have the Garrard Landing boat launch. Another great place to launch if you want. And from Garrard Landing, the next destination point would be Island Ford, also a boat launch, 6 miles below here. Super high like it is today, not super high, I'd say it's high. These shoals are flattened out. When it's low, you have some pretty big waves to go through. But when it's high like this, it kind of smooths things out, makes it a lot easier. That's a remnant of the old bridge used to go across here long time ago. And in fact, you can actually see, right there where all that, everything's overgrown, but that's also part of the bridge, that stone monument right there. But usually right here, this is very choppy waves, 2 and 3 foot waves. But today is just completely flat. It's about as easy as it gets going through here. Yeah, right here, you're usually 2 or 3 feet of water. All around you. They also stock trout right here, FYI. Right back there, there's a pipe. They actually put the trout in a pipe and release them into the water. The pipe is right up there. You can see it, and that's where they feed the river with trout. And they still are stocking, I believe. Through Labor Day. See, Joe's up there going through the middle. You cannot do that when the water's low. You just cannot get through that. The rocks, shoals will not let you get through that. So he's having some fun today going in uncharted territory. On your right, you have a water treatment plant. Right across from Garrard Landing boat launch. So to give you some perspective, I've been out here before where the water, here's the boat launch, and I've been here when the water is all the way up to where that trash can is up there. So another 8 feet maybe. It's a little high, 2 feet high, feels high, but nothing compared to what it can be. But it's also fun to go through the water. Woo! Like this. Woo! There's mile marker 325. Just past Garrard Landing. Now there's a creek up here just a few hundred yards past this mile marker, where on a day like this when the water's up, we can get up that creek and it goes quite a ways. We're going to check that out today. Usually, again, there are shoals right in front of us here. Usually they're completely underwater today, so we're going to take advantage of this water level. The cicadas are out in full glory today. In the south, that's just music to our ears. It's beautiful. Hey, how's it going? Do you have a line out here, a fishing line? I don't see it. Am I okay? Okay. Where's your line? Okay. Whoa, that's crazy. What? Big old stump I just passed just broke off on its own. It fell in the water. That's nuts. Hello, ducks. Uh-oh. Okay, I didn't see that coming. I can get through on the other side. Should have followed the ducks. They know where they're going. So I recommend totally, if the water's up, a couple of feet or more, to explore all these creeks. Because when it's low, generally you can't get in, you can't get past the trees, whatever. But it's always interesting to get back in here. Oh, wow. So, that's interesting. This is a big bamboo forest, usually, or it still is, but man, it got wrecked. Look at that. You don't usually see those guys get taken down. Yeah, that's about as far as we're going to go today. I don't feel like navigating. Looks like there's a big tree crossing the way up there. End of the road. Look at all the bamboo just got taken down. I mean, that would take quite a lot to take those bamboo down. It's pretty crazy. Really went, especially back in here, tucked away. That's nuts.
I haven't been this far up here in a while.
I know. Man. I mean, that was something. Touchdown, maybe a cyclone or something. Touchdown right here. Curious. Let's see if there's any fish in here. I know, I don't want to get snagged. My lure is like, I'm just going to get tangled instead. I don't want to get snagged either. Here's the stump that broke off as I came in. It's really wild. Hey Joe, when I came in here, this stump was attached to that tree. And then as soon as I passed it, the whole thing snapped off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's wild. Do you see the guy up there on the bank sitting in the woods?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not fishing, he's just kind of hunched down in the middle of the... Just hunched down like it was kind of thick, and he's listening to his radio. We call them POWs, people of the woods. Pop out. You think you're all alone, and then a POW pops out of nowhere. Wow, this is crazy. Everything, even the pipe that usually crosses here. Yeah, totally unexpected. Yeah, I mean this is higher than I even when I saw the release, I was not expecting this. Yeah, we're going over a huge rock right here. Oh, there we go. See that? Came out of nowhere. There we go, there. Number 7. Beautiful. They are biting the crap out of that yellow camper mark. That's a cool house right there, very modern, and they upgraded recently, and there's an everlasting pool and waterfall straight ahead. You can see the waterfall. Pretty cool. Somebody lost their power bait. We'll pick that up for them. Well, sometimes you can get up to this creek a ways, but it's not quite high enough yet. Obviously, if it was 2 or 3 feet higher, you can go up this creek quite a ways, actually. marker 324. And all the hawks are welcoming us. We're going to go up this creek. This is another one that you can get up a long ways when it's like this. This is a really cool creek right at mile 324. Oh darn. Look at that. You know, once I'm thinking it's kind of high, we can get to places. We've been over that pipe many times, and I mean, you can see that has to be at least 2.5 to 3 feet higher than it is now to get over that. But it gets pretty cool down there. You can actually pass some people's houses back in there. So if you get a big day when the water's say, you know, 5 feet over the average, then you can get back in there, but it goes quite a ways. We've gone back there, you know, half a mile or so. But unfortunately today, this is where we turn around. Yeah, the big pipe is exposed right down the middle. It just reminds us how big the water's been back here when we've done this previously. You know, it would be another, I'd say, 2.5 feet to get over that pipe from this. Maybe 3 feet, probably 3 feet to get over it. And it goes way back there. It's a really cool area back there. Did you hear all the hawks talking to us? Yeah, there's one right in the... Yeah, both sides of the river. Yeah, totally. It was a hawk argument. Hey, this side of the river is way better. Nope, this side of the river is better. Oh, there he is. He's directly above me. I know. And then what happened? Anything else you want to tell me?
East side. Right. Goes west side.
There he is. They're very communicative. Red-shouldered hawks or red-tailed hawks, one of the two, talking to each other.
They're hopping like
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't hawk to me right there because I was directly below him. Hawk to. And we've approached the Horseshoe Bend Golf Club. There's a couple golfers out there. Always be mindful because most of these golfers, if they're right-handed, have a serious hook and they can hit you right in the head. This hole that they're teeing off on right there parallels the river, so a nice little hook and they can doink you. Let's see how our swing goes. Oh, nice swing. Oh, well hit. There's a huge beaver dam here, and wow, can we get over it today? Let's see. Wow, awesome. Haven't been able to get back here in a while. That beaver dam is like 2 or 3 feet. Awesome. And this little creek goes right up to the Horseshoe Bend Golf Club. Awesome. You can see the waterfall on the golf course. And it looks like this sweeper right here, this down tree, is going to stop us. Or not. Let's see. Hold on a second. Yeah. I mean, we can only go... There's the bridge where the golf carts actually pass. That's the golf cart bridge right there. And I'm not going to bushwhack my way through that, but there's the waterfall. We're on the golf course, technically, and this is where the golfers cruise on by in their golf carts. How cool is this? It's been a long time since we were back here. I know Sidekick Joe's going to want to come back here. We'll wait for him. This is a really cool spot. But again, like today was like some 2 feet over, just over that beaver dam. Any lower, you can't get through. It's been a heck of a day so far. Beautiful weather. Water's super high, so not super high. Again, a couple feet, 2 feet maybe. But these creeks have been awesome. We don't usually get back in here, so we're loving this. All right, and we're right in the middle of the golf course. So let's see what the other adventures are in our future. All right. just look at the banks and how they're washed away. It gives you an idea of how high this water can get, and does on a regular basis. Look at that. There's Psychic Joe getting over the beaver dam. I mean, we were literally an inch over the top of that thing. Sorry, Mr. Beaver. He'll have that thing fixed by tonight. I heard that if you want to hunt, if you're one of these survival adventurers and you want to hunt beaver, which apparently is very delicious food, that the way you do it is you find a beaver dam and you mess it up. And then you just sit there, and within hours, the beaver will come back to fix that beaver dam. That's how you scout out a beaver. And yeah, going back to the first thought, the fact that they are delicious, and I watch a lot of the survivor shows, and they say it's a delicacy actually amongst hunters, honestly. And I always considered it more of a rodent, but it's the fatty meat. Number one, very good when you're in a survival situation, protein, etc. But number two is using all of the beaver, the skin, the tail, all of it can be used for tools or what have you. Very useful survival animal though, and you wouldn't necessarily think about that. And most importantly, you can trade their pelts for tobacco. Yeah. I mean, we're out there in the bush, get a couple cigars. Well, yeah, we saw that last time. They have a bar stool bar up there. Oh, yeah, that is a new dock. That will not last. These people who put these docks straight out in the water. I mean, I don't know. Let's see how it's set up. I love that though. That's pretty awesome. A little tiki bar. But when these things are like straight out into the river, below here, imagine the water 6 feet, 8 feet high, and moving at 6, 7 feet. Unless this thing has that thing's gonna get wiped away. So they have the floats. Of course, it's going to rise, right? Yeah. Oh, that's great. But that's like a 1 season or maybe 2 season. 1 or 2 seasons. I guarantee you, 2 years from now, we float by here. That's not there. That is actually one of the more flimsy ones we've seen.
It represents a significant investment.
It does. Hey, maybe that's the way to go. So not a significant investment. You just flop it out there, and when it's gone, it's gone. Instead of some of these people, like I was talking earlier about the very elaborate stone steps and everything,
Yeah.
and they just, at the end of the day, they were like, screw it gets washed away no matter what, and we're just going to put a ladder here. And earlier, we saw where the ladders end up too, by the way. They end up in a tree somewhere. But yeah, maybe that's the way to go. Go with the disposable dock. It looks like they did build it in a weekend. How's the fishing going, Joe? Not very well. left here, they've gotten very industrious. And what they're trying to do, see the house is way up there, but they made a zigzag dirt road right down. Carved out what will be a future dock. I see the dude up there in the pool. That's a pool up there above the wall. But big project. If they finish it, pretty awesome. They have a nice, and I like that platform because it's above where even the biggest floods usually, the floods would get up to right about where he's got the top beam. Whereas, look at this one. I mean, it's just destroyed. It's a nice setup, but it just gets destroyed on a regular basis. And it ends up looking like that right there. It's a challenge. You're messing around with the riverbank down here where you're looking at, 2 to 15 foot fluctuation and 20 foot when it's a legitimate flood, which happens at least once or twice a year. Oh, that's a new tree right there. That's a big river oak that just said, you know what? I'm done. I'm sick of living on the golf course. I'm sick of people hitting golf balls into my limbs and trees and my leaves and everything. So I'm done. Forget about it. Wow. It's a big one. That's easily a 100-foot river oak, probably 100 years old. That just happened. That's fresh as it gets right there. Somebody really knocked the crap out of a golf ball and took that thing down. I mean, that was a heck of a slice, I guess. That's a big. I know, you're right. That's going to become a nice fishing spot right below that. That looks like about 100 feet, probably 100 years old. I mean, that's a legit river oak. The amazing thing is that thing snapped at the base. It didn't just come out of the ground. It literally snapped at the base. That was probably last night with all the storms. What's that? I mean, it looks pretty healthy. I have to say, even though there's no protein value, Cheetos are a pretty awesome snack. No, I mean, it's like I didn't even eat anything, but boy, it tasted good going down. And don't underestimate the crunch value. Yeah. I think the last trip we were on here about a month ago, I think we collectively caught like 15 to 20 fish already. I know I had a big day. It was amazing, and just the difference of really only about 2 feet upriver, but it's probably more like when it gets narrow like this, 2 feet probably translates to about 4 or 5 feet down here. And that's what it feels like right now. Yeah, Brandon Hall, a private institution, high school, believe it or not, is right in front of you. It's just right over those treetops, and in the winter and when there's no leaves, you can actually see up in there, but they have an amazing property just over that tree line on the other side, not far away. And this area is appropriately called a Horseshoe Bend because of this bend in the river. And what you're looking at in front of you is actually the sort of the bend. We're going to go around that. We're going to go to the right, 90-degree turn basically, and we're going to go all the way around and come back, and we'll be on the other side of this tree line, going to the left, not that far away. So this bend, and on the right, Horseshoe Bend Golf Course and Community, that's where it got its name. And another one of my favorite houses right here, just simple, looks like you're in the middle of Switzerland. Little alpine chalet. I love it. I love it. I love that house. It's probably my favorite house. Just perfect. Perfect size, perfect everything. Right on the river. They've cleaned up their riverbank. It used to be pretty nasty. Looks pretty good now. I love it. And this is like the hottest spot to usually catch fish. Are we going to try them? I don't know. Problem is we can't see any of the logs and all the stuff underneath now. And there are a lot. There's mile marker 322.5. We began this adventure at 328.5, so exactly 6 miles to this point, right by the golf course. This is the tail end of the golf course. And usually great fishing along here, but just again, a little too high today, a little too murky. I was just thinking, I was looking at them going, are those goslings? And they are, aren't they? Well, I think they're ducks. But very small ducks. Yeah, there's no way there's way too late in the year. Although I have seen a few ducklings. I don't know about July. Our favorite moose antler. It's on this little shack up there. So yeah, pretty awesome. looks about as far as we can go today, but I've been around this corner and up, another 500 yards before. But today, with the rocks right there, we need another foot of water. We could get up around that corner. I've actually, where you saw me, I've been another 500 yards past that. It's really cool. You get back in there, it's a place that you really want to see, Joe, that you're never going to be able to see without me. But that was further, again, that we've been able to get in a long time. people. Well, this is, we call it affectionately two islands because you got an island on the left, island on the right. And there's three ways to go. Either to the left, that's the other safe one. Middle, in 10 years of doing this, I've never gone down this middle because there's always trees across it and you can't get through. But on the way down here, I just noticed that it's possible today. But as you can see, this one tree might stop us right here, but it looks like there might be an opening on the left. I've never made it down this middle section before, but I think it looks pretty clear today. So, you and me, we're doing it for the first time. I don't know, this is the tricky part right here. We'll see. So there's definitely a tree here. You got to get a head of steam and get over this. That's how we're going to make it. We're going to definitely hit it. Oh, didn't even touch. That's incredible. Looked like we're going to hit for sure. Awesome. Well, this is definitely the least hazardous it's ever been. And I've been, even when the waters are high, it's hard to get through here. That route right there is totally smooth, no problem. I didn't even touch the tree. But of the three options, I would never do this one unless you really know what you're doing. And obviously it looks pretty simple today, but the water level is just perfect, I guess. And Joe's got one of the larger fishing vessels, and he made it through that no problem. Wow, this is the easiest I've seen it in forever. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess this level, I mean, it's just the best. It's the first time I've ever made it through here. And people are watching this going, that didn't look like any big deal, but it's just the water happens to be at the best level right now. If it goes down 2 feet, there's tons of trees laying across this thing, I guess. I mean, it looks like it's been cleaned out a lot. It's definitely the least amount of trees down sweepers that I've seen in that stretch. I mean, we had one tree to navigate, and it's usually 5 or 6 or 8. Cool. Gotta show you this house. Look at this spread. That one's okay, but this one right there. Look at that spread right there. You wouldn't turn that down, would you? Nope. That's lovely. Oh, really? Super stimulating. As far as like super stimulating and relaxing on the kayak on the river, that's pretty super stimulating. That was a rare treat. Actually, a first treat for me. Oh, I've been doing the same. Find the shade and seek it. It's been nice. It's been nice to do all the opposite areas that we usually do on the river. Like just floating along the bank because you can. Water's higher. Find the shade. getting up that. I have been up this creek before, but you need another 4 feet really here. You need 4 feet at least to get up that. Most bueno. This one I have been, and I've made it all the way around. And you're in like the front yard of this house. It's kind of funny, but you need about 4 extra feet right here today. There's boulders right around the corner. That's a pretty cool setup right there. You got your John boat. I like that. Look, he's got his handles. You can slide it up. Very well done. Very sturdy steps. Very well done. Well, like a day like this, you could have gotten right through Garrard, no problem.
Yeah, you could have gotten all the way to.
You could have gotten all the way to. Yeah, and I didn't even notice. You might be able to get through Jones Bridge right there, if it's this high. I didn't look up there, but if you know the channel. Oh, that was a stump. This is another cool house. Recently added some, put an office above his garage, pretty cool. Yeah, it's coming together. I've worked on this for a while now. That's a drive-through garage, which is pretty cool too. It's a really nice piece of land. It's got a pool over here on the right. Yeah, I'd probably pass on this house because of that. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Look at this house being overtaken by the weeds. Look at that. So this house, this house was abandoned about 5 years ago, and it's a great piece of land, but we're thinking maybe it is in fact in that flood zone now. But there's a pool right there, but this is a perfect example. 5 years, all of the river weeds, etc. Look at that. They have taken over the house. They're growing up the roof. They're growing into the windows. Look at that. That is wild. And that's a pool right in front of us.
You buy that, you're buying the land, not the house.
Oh, no doubt. But it's been vacant for 5 years, which is bizarre. I mean, right over there is a little playground. I mean, I remember when it was completely well-kept, functioning, people living in a house. And now you got literally the weeds just growing over it. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea. For 5 years, there was one point where there was a for sale sign, like 4 years ago, and then it went away, and it's just been vacant. I mean, it's literally a just abandoned house. You want a place to come squat and live on the river? There it is, people. There it is. It's kind of creepy. It's one level above living in a van down by the river. This way you live in an abandoned house down by the river. did. It's beautiful back there. Oh, I love this cold water. Man. Hot day like this, we got 60-degree water. It's amazing. And we reached mile marker 320, Island Ford. Boat launch right there. See, there's a flotilla that just departed. That's right off of Roberts Drive. Look it up. Easy access. And then from here, you have about a mile and a half. You'll be at Don White on the Riverside Drive side of the river. But from here, for the next mile or so, it's Island Ford Shoals. Great fishing. A lot of fun. Great area to hang out. So from Jones Bridge to here was exactly 8.5 miles. You add that other mile and a half to Don White, and you got yourself a 10-mile kayak trip. And you add all the creeks we did today. Plus, plus, plus. All these cormorants, aka loons, but these guys eat all the fish out here. Cormorants, and in the summer, that's as many as you're going to see. You're going to see less than a dozen out here. See, they spread their wings. There you go. He's doing it for you. But in the winter, when all the trees have lost their leaves, in the wintertime, there's probably 200 to 300 of these loons, these cormorants. Yeah, I don't understand. In the winter, they come here, and again, 200 to 300, and they hang out in the trees. I mean, usually there's rocks everywhere right here. So again, the water's up, and the shoals are underwater today, for the most part. I think these birds are pretty amazing. They can go underwater and swim for 30 seconds and grab fish, and then they can pop up and they can fly, which is amazing. With wet wings and all that. Like, they don't fly very well, but they can fly. They're not exactly friends of the fisherman community because they eat all the fish. Check it out, the clouds above us there, they're forming a heart symbol. Look at the heart symbol the clouds are making. See the heart? In the middle. Why are you going left? Is it too treacherous on the right?
I know.
It's easier when it's high like this. Oh yeah, that's a good point. We always go to the right. Something new. Look at that guy coming right at me. Come on. Tell you what, they released a ton of water today. I mean, usually the water doesn't hit until a couple days, so this is all out of Lake Lanier. And I thought we were in a drought, but apparently not. That's true, I have heard that. They released tons of water to generate more power. This is almost trickier this time of year. I'm not used to coming over here when it's a little higher. Like, where's the rocks? continue the theme. Going down the left, so generally when the water's low, you're over here in the middle or on the right. But when it's a little higher like this, navigating the left side is a lot of fun. Hello. I'm going right to the middle. It was easy. I just had a little eddy at the end there, but it was a nice little flume right through the middle. I've never done that before either, right through there. Dewey and Louie. I've known those guys since they were itty bitties. Yeah, no? Is it really? Well, that's true. I'm on my second.
4K 30?
Yeah, but I do the same, but I'm on my second battery. So 4K 30 is like an hour and a half, maybe. But, you know, I'll be interested to see the difference and how it looks again. And filmed everything all the way, so it's going to be a complete kind of ambient kind of thing. Huh? I'm going to hang out at the bottom of this island right here. Yeah. You better hurry, you got some shoals coming up. Yeah. All right, so you gotta hurry because you're gonna hit some rapids in a second. is like a pit stop.
Refueling.
How you doing, Bob?
All right, man.
Yeah.
It's a torch though, so
Yeah, better.
it's windproof and it works. It's not like the regular.
These Horseshoe cords literally burn my stress.
That's nothing.
I see it.
We're here to serve.
Thank you
Hell
so much.
yeah.
You brought it that
Like
later.
here.
I'm the only one that rolled once.
I wasn't mad. I was just
She
observing.
forgot a lighter.
Thank you so much.
Oh, look, and he gave you a lighter to
Oh,
keep,
thanks.
so you guys are set.
You guys want to hit?
No, we're good. We're good.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day. You guys are lifesavers.
We are a hit.
Now can be one with nature.
Hey, say hello to Red Kayak Guy because you're actually on a YouTube video.
How about it?
You guys are on our YouTube video right now. This is Red Kayak Guy.
What's up, y'all?
Yo.
Guy's the man.
Yeah, we bring the lighters for the people and everything.
Lighter for our...
Yeah, for your cigarette. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Red Kayak Guy, check it out.
I will. Oh my God.
And we've arrived at my favorite spot, the middle of the Island Fort Shoals. And today underwater, you can't see, I'd say 70% of the rocks. But I love seeing people still out here having fun. And we're gonna let Psychic Joe go over to his spot. He likes to go over there to the island and put up his hammock. We're gonna hang out right here in a little spot that I've created where I can back it up on the beach in the shade. And it's a great spot. So summertime, this is the spot to be in, right here. Look at that. Back it in on the beach. Got water all around you. I'm glad you could join for the ride today. Jones Bridge all the way down to Island Ford. Just about 9.5 miles to right about here. And if you want to go on down to Don White, it's more like 10.5. But, you know, what a location. Always awesome. Doesn't matter what the water level is. It really doesn't. Just be smart. Know what you're doing. Know when it's higher, what you got to do. When it's lower, what you got to do. When it's higher, the things you can do, like the creeks we did today. And, you know, it's dropping fast, but not so fast. It's an extra big release today. So none of these rocks are exposed like they usually are. I think people are coming out here going, what's up? And I think Joe made a good point. Lake Lanier does, the Beaver Dam, they do some extra large releases out of the blue every now and then when it's super hot and you need some power generated. And really that's what the dam's all about. So that's what's happened 2 days in a row of doing this. But again, you got to take advantage of it. We didn't catch any fish today. We really didn't try that hard. But we had a blast just exploring. I hope you enjoyed the creeks. Hope you enjoyed just being out here. And if you did, and you like this content, you like these videos, please subscribe, share with your friends. I talk to a lot of people on the river, and they're always asking me questions about where to put in, where to go. Not just this river, several rivers. Look at all my playlists. So all the rivers in Georgia, for the most part, in the northern Georgia section, playlists everywhere. And you can see, what to do. But we keep it real chill. We have a good time. And if you like it, again, please subscribe. It helps me a lot. Trying to keep this thing going for a long time. And I hope that I can just continue to be bringing you more videos. And if you have any special requests, please hit me in the messages. Let me know. But thanks for following and just watching. And we'll try and keep bringing it to you, right? Woo. You know it. Awesome day. Thanks for watching.